Well, it was a really good first half. I thought the first half was extremely high-level basketball game, and we felt great. We blew a switch to end the half, and then it was a 53 to 52 game, and that same bugaboo just keeps rearing its ugly head, and that's turnovers. And it's you don't have enough timeouts to get momentum stopped sometimes, and give Arizona credit, they capitalized, and this was a game which we've been so dominant on the glass against our other opponents, and that made up a little bit, mask our turnovers. And you get 53 field goal attempts tonight and 22 turnovers. And we've got to clean that up. It doesn't matter what offense we run, we're finding ways to turn the ball over. And they don't pressure. They let you run your stuff, and it's just a frustrating trend. But we got to get better, and we get 8 days to practice now, and very, very busy first week, 2 on the road, and now we have a lot of film to learn from.
About the turnovers that you've seen, where on the spectrum from mental toughness to executing as a unit does it fall, you think?
I think they're one and the same. I think when you're mentally tough, you execute. And I think when you don't execute, really good defense, and let's be real, Arizona is one of the top defensive teams around, and I felt, like I said, I felt like we were right there the first half. We had Nico Mannion shooting jump shots off the dribble. We had Green, who had not been shooting it well at all, shooting threes. We had mixed up our defenses enough that we kept them off balance a little bit, and our offense was good. We got out in transition. We got some easy ones. We missed Kofi 6 or 7 times, but then all of a sudden we just get so stagnant, and I wish I had the explanation for it. We've got to figure that out.
They're really tough to guard with me at the point, especially when Green's knocking down threes. What were you trying to accomplish? I mean, you kind of talked about
Well, they run good offense. They run a little circle motion, and I thought our game plan was really good going into it, and we wanted to lock and trail him and Smith, and go third to make Green hit it and close out short. And we knew Zignaji was a very capable scorer, and then we just want to keep them off balance. And to their credit, they made shots that they haven't been making, and maybe that was bad defense or bad game plan. That's on me, but there was great tempo. It was a high level game in the first half, and then we reverted back to the stuff that I'm trying to correct, and that's ball doesn't go in, not guard, and 53-52, a 15-0 run, and we could never get it under control because our offense was 4 straight turnovers.
that hurts your transition defense too when you're turning the ball over, which gives them run outs and 3-on-2s.
Well, we turn it over 4 times. We take a couple quick shots. You miss a couple free throws, and all of a sudden, you're in the midst of a 15-0 run. And we've got to have something that we can do to stop that. And it's not pounding the ball and dribble all the time and trying to go 1-on-5. We've got to get guys spraying it and passing it and moving it, and we're not doing that enough.
How tough did they make things to get to Kofi, and once Kofi got the ball?
Well, I don't know how tough they made it. I thought that we missed him 6 or 7, 8 times in the first half. We just didn't throw the ball to him. And he had really good position, I thought, and that's something we've got to work on. And obviously after 3 games, we know post feeding and post entries are something we've got to get much better at and spend some time on. And it changes the dynamic of a game because we don't put any foul pressure on them at all. And so we'll learn from that. We'll get better at it, and yet we've still got to be tough enough to execute, tough enough not to turn the ball over.
Is there any key you see to keeping Georgie on the floor, getting rid of cheap fouls or anything like that?
I mean, he's a guy that everybody knows has a reputation. He posts really hard. His offensive fouls are stuff that we've got to get corrected. We've got a Q-tip that we run around with a broomstick and 2 ends on it and make him post with it above his head, yet he reverts back and gets his arms out. Almost every game we've played this far, he's had a hook and hold with his arms. We've got to clean that up, and he's got to want to clean that up. And we do need him on the floor, and we got to have a better Georgie than we had tonight with just 1 rebound.
You have obviously three games, a couple road games. How does this? Now you got a week of practice. Is that really good going forward?
Well, that's the way we planned it. I hope it's good. As we move forward, we get a really good Hawaii team coming in, and we knew we were going to have some growth here early and go on the road and 2 great environments, and then you get a top 15 program or wherever Arizona's at, and you knew you were going to get challenged. And I thought for 30 of the 40 minutes we were pretty good. It's just that other 10 that we've got to get through, and now we've got a lot of film, and now it's a get better time. And if we can continue to work and grow, and I like this team, I like what we're capable of, and we're not going to let 1 game on the road at Arizona define our season.
How would you just evaluate the opening week as a whole?
Busy, tiring, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of travel, and not many high major programs go do that. But I also think it's extremely beneficial, and we know now before we go to Maryland exactly what we've got to do. We've seen elite high major size, elite high major teams. We've been on the road in a great environment at Grand Canyon. So I think we saw a Nichols team that made a run at us. And we all obviously saw what they did yesterday beating Pitt. That was a good basketball team, and yet we found a way. So now it's a lot of growth, and it's a lot of time to learn. And we've got 8 days to do that, and we set that up for that purpose to really grow and get better.
Did you play a higher percentage zone today than you had the first 2 games?
We just threw it up, yeah. I hadn't played very much other than baseline out, which really hurt us. They did a good job of scouting and taking advantage of our baseline out play. But yeah, we wanted to mix it in. They're a big rhythm team offensively. We wanted to make sure we tried to keep them out of that rhythm. And then they were fairly effective. We missed a few, but we probably played 7, 8, 9 possessions in the first half.
What did you take away from the way you guys came out and 3 points early?
Well, I mean, we hadn't been getting off to great starts, so it was good to get off to a good start. It was good to get Trent going. They did a great job of locking him up late in the second half. But yeah, it's good to get off to a good start, and yet I didn't feel like it was real clean. It wasn't real fluid in terms of our offense. We were kind of a hodgepodge of how we scored, but it was good. It was good to get off to a good start and throw a few punches, and they did what a good team does. And especially at home, they didn't panic and made the run.
Io seemed pretty relaxed, maybe nonchalant about execution problems and turnovers, and you say that he's one guy that you never have to worry about. Do you like him being relaxed? Do you want him to be more angry about that sort of thing?
Well, I think I'm concerned about the fact that we're a better team than that, and that's not something that we should be doing. I think that we'll approach a lot of those things. We've got to see how they're coming. I mean, I bet we had half a dozen to 10 just on post entries. We had one that's really casual on an inbounds play. Those are plays that are mental toughness plays and understanding the environment in the game. And so, if we're lapsing, then we got to get them not to. And then we've got to help them with post entries.
Allen had 6 points, 3 rebounds off the bench, but that was maybe about it. Just how have you kind of assessed
that aspect of what you're maybe getting after your starters? Or,
Well, and I thought we got good minutes from Kipper tonight. I thought Kipper played with an aggression and was, was a help. I think we'll continue to see Ben grow. I'm excited about him, and then maybe now we get a little better feel for Ben, get a little better feel for Jermaine as we move down the road, and then we've got to have a lot more from DeMonte. There's no doubt about that. We need DeMonte to be a consistent figure in everything we do.
Didn't see Ted make the trip. Was that part of protocol, your call, or?
Absolutely, my call.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
See you back in